During this presentation, entitled Staying Connected in Diploma Program, I will attempt to analyze the already implemented diploma program in a school near Guangzhou in mainland China using the disconnection framework provided by Alan Walker. I will then attempt to use identified disconnections to find strategies to avoid them and stay connected when implementing the diploma program in a different school located in Shanghai. My focus in this presentation will be on three key areas of the program implementation. I've identified during the preparation of the DP curriculum documentations that instrumental disconnections could occur. I have also identified that the level of experience, skills, and training of teachers could cause professional disconnections. Finally, the teaching strategies, beliefs, and values of teachers could result in cultural disconnections. Doing my research and this presentation, I have deployed the following strategy. I have identified disconnections using the Walker's disconnection framework, and then have defined these disconnections using enactment and sense-making framework provided by Brown and Spillern. These definitions are highlighted in red. Then I have linked these disconnections to examples within school, and these were used for experience gained in school near Guangzhou. These are highlighted in blue. Then I have identified ways and ideas to prevent these disconnections using the strategic school leadership and previous mentioned literature and own experiences. These are highlighted in green. This following advert shows a family that has moved with the dad still finishing up things in his last place of work. The family experienced a situation which could have easily led to a disconnection between a wholesome family life and the reality of life.
My name is Alexis Paul, and my husband is Nick. He is in the Army. We have two girls, Natalie, she's 2.5, and Marielle, who is 9 months. We just moved. There's clearly a lot of work here to do. My husband had to stay back in Ohio to finish up some work-related stuff. It's kind of this crazy thing where the most tumultuous thing you might do with a family, move him, you have to sort of figure out some of it on your own. We do something really fun on special occasions like moving, where we'll have a picnic in the living room because it's very special. Who is that, Natalie?
Daddy!
Hi, Daddy!
Hi, Natalie.
Do you want to show Daddy your grilled cheese that you made? Can you hold up, show Daddy? Do you think Daddy made a sandwich?
Not yet.
Daddy didn't make a sandwich?
Does it look like that?
Yeah.
Is that the same sandwich?
Yeah.
Are you gonna take a bite together?
Yeah.
Do you want to take a bite with Daddy?
My sandwich is good. How's yours?
The thing is about being a military family, if you're lucky, and I am, your spouse is your best friend, your absolute best friend. In the short times apart, it's our routine, the things that we do together as a family. You miss having that person you can do nothing with.
Yeah.
All right, Guy, we love you.
All right, love you too.
See you soon.
To avoid instrumental disconnection, it is important that we find innovative ways to implement the diploma program in the specific context of our school, just as the family in the advert here found a creative way to keep up family traditions despite the fact that the dad is far away from their new home. Zooming into the instrumental disconnections, the schools can be subject to creative non-implementation and/or fabrication where policy response are incorporated in school documentation for accountability reason only, rather than for pedagogy or organizational change. Now, I have seen that in the school here in Guangzhou, where the implementation of the DP unit plans are unwieldy and foster copy and paste exercises, as well as the curriculum articulation that is created seems to be an alone-standing document rather than an integral part of lesson planning. To avoid these disconnections, we first can make sure the documentation is centered around students' outcomes, as seen in the slide. Having some of these connections and skills explicitly articulated in the curriculum articulation and the DP unit plan will make these documentations an integral part of the lesson preparation and the teaching and learning in the classroom. Also, a development of a schemes of work template that is easy and quick to use, supports lesson planning and complements the curriculum articulation and DP unit plans will be useful. Or another opportunity is to shape DP unit plans or curriculum articulation to include aspects of our schemes of work, such as lesson activities. Professional disconnection. Having good professional relationship with the members of your team will help you as a leader to avoid professional disconnection, just as a strong friendship between the dad and the mom of the family in the advert helped to avoid possible disconnection caused by the long distance between them. Zooming into professional disconnections, there are three possible reasons for this disconnection. First, teachers could selectively attend to policies that are inconsistent with their own interests and agendas, as identified by Firestone. Then, teachers could have a lack of capacity to implement these changes, as identified by Brown. Or the policy could be ambiguous, as Spielan alludes to. Now, these are linked to experiences in school where teachers have different values and integrate these curriculum documentations differently. Now, some teachers use it as a copy and paste activity because they simply don't use these documentations in their lesson planning. Some teachers have an inability to plan effectively because they don't have the skills and the knowledge to create effective curriculum documentations. And sometimes the instructions can be given in a big to-do list with very little explanations how to put it into practice. To avoid these disconnections, I've identified that a shared understanding is a very important part in that process. Create time and opportunity in the development process of curriculum documentations and the deeply implementation as a whole to share thoughts and understanding of the IB expectations and school-specific requirements. Also, the implementation could be done in stages, so there is enough time to do each part. With that comes a managing of the human resources to use teachers with more extensive IB experiences and teachers with certain skills to lead groups of teachers in that process of implementation. And lastly, you could value teachers' views and input, and in a meeting share your vision and the purpose of these documentations, and let teachers discuss and evaluate ways of using documentations and shaping the documentation to fit the teacher's needs. Just as the family had to change how they normally do things, to avoid cultural disconnection, we need to look out for innovative solutions in schools and challenge old ways of doing things. Zooming into cultural disconnection, there are two things in terms of the new school that I have identified could be reasons for entrenched values and beliefs. Now, first, the future school belongs to a well-established and esteemed organization. And as Brown identified, this reputation and the high league table position could be a constant backdrop and shape the values and beliefs of the teachers. In addition, most teachers are British trained and will have an entrenched teaching practice as identified in Walker and Crane. Now, these two schools have a very different context, which means that their entrenched values and beliefs specific to the school an emic. However, the existence of an entrenched value and beliefs in schools overall is a well-noted phenomena across schools. And we can look at this attic. To look at that and to avoid the cultural disconnections, we're looking at strategic leadership. Now, a good leader needs to respond to changes in schools by promoting innovative solutions that can meet the needs as well as challenge existing orthodoxies and pedagogies and ways of working. On the other hand, Kwon and Walker also advise that a strategic leader does not thoughtlessly discard effective and established practices, but retains them. In addition, a strategic leader coordinates and enables collective effort that ensures common purpose to foster shared beliefs and values.